if you want to go back and watch it, I highly suggest it because it really kicked things off.
All right, you know what? Let's take a look at our map. So see which one we're going to be playing on here today before we talk a bit more about our operator bands. And ooh, meme park. That's a cool one. All right. So obviously, not really. Oh boy, Des, this map doesn't really get played much. I see both of you are sounding off the alarms.
Look,
what's going on?
I haven't got to sit here and look at any kind of record or history. I can just tell you on the sheer fact that it was QC who got the final ban away and chose to go to theme park. The Giants are going to choose to start on defense. No one likes attacking theme park. It is the sole reason why the map does not get picked more. I feel bad for QC. They're a good attacking team, but no one's very good at attacking theme parks, to be honest with you.
Devil's advocate here against you, Des. I think I said that QC could be a world-class leader in how they dispose of utility, how they work around using their utility to just get rid of things, wall denial, evil eyes, etc. And that, you know, a lot of teams in EUL could learn from them. So if there's a team to start attack on theme park, and I go to all the APAC North teams other than Giants, I think it is QC at the moment, given what they did on Oregon. If they can repeat that here, devil's advocate. And Giants did, let's be frank, show a little bit of weakness against Talon last time they played theme park as well. So, maybe good.
Look, I'm looking to see, because I completely agree. Giants should be starting on the defense in this one. The part of it is I want to kind of draw comparisons to EU League is, you know, when we saw G2 playing last night, they banned out on Villa a Maestro so that they can have more space to use their explosives, deal with shields, deal with all of that intel gathering utility that we see on every map. But I think a map like Theme Park, shields, Goyo, deployable shields in general, let's be honest, the easiest way to say it is pain in the ass to deal with a lot of times, Jim.
I think you are going to struggle on a map like Theme Park when you've only got one defensive ban, let's be frank. You've got Mirror, you've got Maestro, you've got Goyo Shield, you've got all of these things to deal with. Some teams like to play Clash, some teams like to have a certain Valkyrie that jumps out. I mean, you can only pick one out of all of that mess, and as a result, something will be left over and will be abused and used on defense. But let's remember, both teams get to do that. So...
Okay. Well,
nothing else to add.
I mean, look, you know what? You know what? On top of that, this map lends itself very well to a lot of the hallways that it has in it, right? And a lot of times, you still need to clear that top floor before you go down if the defense is played on that ground floor. But now the question is, how often would we see Monty here, if at all, if banned? Because
I think banned.
We see that operator used and abused time and time again on the team does.
Yeah, it has to get banned away. Like, I think even with Giants signing on the defense here, if you are QC and you're confident you can nick a couple of rounds and see it go through to the side you're on defense, you don't want to face off against Luna's Monty. We've seen it banned away for him pretty much all season long. The guy has shown that he can also deliver when not on Monty, which is I've been really happy to see. It was kind of my number one worry this season coming in for them, but it's shown that he can absolutely deliver. I just think for QC, you don't take the risk. They can try and play it if they want, but nah.
All right, Des, Jess, thank you very much.
Shut up, Jess.
I love it. The game is done. The game is ready. Let's toss it over to our casters. QConfirm versus Giants. Enjoy.
Thanks so much, Milosh. James, it looks like things are going to be a bit crazy because these two teams who have known each other for a very long time came from the same region, now going up against each other on a map which I don't believe they've ever played each other on before.
Yeah, lifelong rivals, but uncharted territory, which is why I'm really excited. I've made my love for Theme Park known. It's a map we don't get to see very often. It always gets banned out. It is Giants' most banned map. Have a look at that social vote. They've got 92% of you guys on Twitter riled up and ready for a Giants win. Last time these two played, it was a 7-1. Was on Consulate though, much more known ground for both of these teams. So here we go to Giants' most banned maps. Zilch info on QConfirm. What's going to subside?
This is also a really important game for QConfirm, who have slipped basically to the bottom of the standings in Stage 2. The overall standings are not quite the same, obviously, but we've mentioned the Bacult system, we've mentioned going against these powerful opponents and how much that can do for your team. So they have a lot riding on their shoulders, and Giants, they're going to be kicking things off in the operator bans with a Maverick.
Yep. So the only time that we've ever seen Giants play this map, Theme Park, they played against Talon. They banned out the Thatcher. I'm going to have a look at see if Talon banned Maverick. Indeed. So the Giants actually last time they played this when they had a run for their money against Talon. But they did win. It was without Thatcher, without Maverick. Thatcher's going to remain in, however, which is going to be really good for the hard breach and also for utility clearing against shields, especially getting rid of ADSs or disabling ADSs so you can destroy their shields. And that's because we've got this unusual ban coming out from QConfirm and IQ. Not something we see every day. Now, on Theme Park in the past, it's been Ysera to take the mantle of IQ, but it's an operator that a lot of these guys on Giants are very confident with. I've seen Luna, I've seen Asterix, I've seen Speakers, I've seen Jordan. Basically, everyone on the roster play well with this IQ. But I do wonder, I don't think it's a target ban specifically to Ysera as a player who's been the IQ main recently. I think it's more so to deny that vision from Giants and make it much more difficult to shot call a push for Giants because they won't have an idea where that defensive utility is.
It's definitely going to be one worth looking out to see how that works out because, as you mentioned, rather influentially, is that a word? It leaves Thatcher in the mix. And we've seen how much of a struggle and an effort it can be for the attacking teams, particularly when attacking onto a site such as Initiation or Throne, and you have to deal with the maintenance or control walls. Oftentimes you'll see a lot of wall denial, mutes, electrification, whatever it may be, and it means that so much of the time has to be wasted dealing with that before any breach can be made. And straight away you can see Roldini taking on the mantle of the Thatcher. So that's definitely going to be in play in this round.
Yeah, definitely Thatcher will be influential. Should wall denial be a factor? But at the moment, for Giants, they've opted not to bring any wall denial. I think that's largely because they've gone for this unusual bomb site, the least common of all four in the map, at least it was originally. And according to my stats, it still is, at least in APAC North, and that is the lab site. So if you have a look at the Stage 2 Theme Park record so far, now Theme Park's only been played twice in APAC North and Stage 2. But funnily enough, it's actually, this bomb site is more common than Initiation offers and also has a better win rate. But keep in mind, very small sample size. If I have another look on back last stage, Theme Park was played 4 times, so you can see overall very uncommon map. But this was actually the last picked bomb site, very uncommon. And keeping in mind that Giants haven't played this map very much in the past, the only time they played it was against Talon, and I'm going to double check now whether they defended this bomb site.
They did.
They did. It was actually... Oh,
it's the only bomb site that they have defended that they have not lost. But again, a really small sample size because they've done it once.
Yeah.
So, you know, take that with a pinch of salt.
It's a curveball. I like it. And something we saw in terms of Giants' play style against QConfirm when they played just last week on Consulate is Giants like to play loose, and they do really have the upper hand on QConfirm when it comes to just chemistry, information gathering, and enabling those aggressive and loose players. And that's what I expect we'll see, especially because they're not leveraging wall denial. And this bomb site here on Lab is quite a loose bomb site.
It's really interesting having the mirror on the soft wall. Most frequently you'll see the window be placed on a reinforced wall and a soft wall right next to it so that you can use that to shoot through. Also has the holes as well. So not only is there the availability to wall bang through the soft wall, but you can throw the C4 as well. QConfirm setting things up for the attack. Looking like they're going to drone in from the cafe side, which is obviously the same side of the map as the bomb site is, just a different floor.
Well, there haven't been any engagement so far, and this game round thus far has been very quiet. Of course, unfortunately, we had healthcare disconnect. His internet clearly not having good healthcare. And that obviously puts the advantage squarely in Giants' favor. It's some good util as well that QConfirm have lost with that Sophia. So I'm really looking at Giants now, or rather QConfirm now, try and redeem themselves. Coming back from the 4v5, droned out barrels, spotted at the mirror window, sees it unattended and knows that's free ground. But hinging over towards the bomb site, a good repel and lots of good information gathering, starting to slowly clear out that util.
And being down to 4 players, it's going to make it harder to deal with the 2 players from Giants who, at the very least, were upstairs. That was Hysterix and Luna. And they may have had a chance to move around, but it's still something that you have to worry about. But there's already less than a minute remaining, and most of QConfirm are still outside.
Finally, the first opening engagement does go, and a lion scan to try and catch that player, but it's all for Giants right now. QConfirm looking very lost. They clearly don't have a coherent strategy for this bomb site. It may well be a flawless defense now, as Giants have put themselves into a 5 versus 1. Lunametal teasing Lycolis, who does shut him down only before getting taken down by Speakeasy. A very convincing first round for the Giants.
Not quite flawless, but it might as well have been.
It's what I always say. I hate it when it's basically a flawless round, and then the player in the 1v5 gets 1 kill, because it's a flawless round anyway.
Well, they're just going to be asking for the rehost, so we'll see if they get granted that. I suspect they will, and we have just heard in our ears that is indeed going to be the case. So not the most explosive start for, I guess, either team, I suppose.
Yep, indeed. It was a very slow game, very slow round. Just about nothing happened. Over 2 minutes, almost 2.5 minutes, in fact, it subsided. 40 seconds left on the clock when Lunametal found the opening pick. And from there, it was just 1v1, 1v1, 1v1 over here, 1v1 over there. They all fell away at Giants. So QConfirm, not a good start. I think this is something you just got to sweep under the rug and be like, whatever, been and gone. We lost healthcare early due to a disconnect. Unfortunate, and I think that threw off the push. Admittedly, I think part of the reason QConfirm were thrown off was because of Giants holding lab. QConfirm, we saw a lot of droning, trying to figure out, okay, where are they playing? They've got a mirror in barrels, but it's facing the throne, and there's no one on that mirror, so can we take that ground? They were just so confused. And they never ever got to the point of, okay, let's start to actually pressure the bomb site. Let's start to pressure Giants. And they never really got to the point of let's hunt down roamers. So it really just looked like they were running around the map, not knowing what to do, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. I mean, you had Lycolis towards the end. He really seemed like the only player who was moving around the map at all, inside it, that is. Just walking straight through. I don't think he was necessarily being droned because all of his teammates were dying in the meantime. He was just desperately looking for something. By that point, they would have known that there was, or at least had been, a player upstairs, that they still hadn't cleared things out, and he wanted some semblance of an opportunity. I suppose you always want to believe that every round is winnable, but it was a very interesting and different way to how that site usually plays out. It is one that often gets very aggressive towards the end of the round just because of the nature of the bomb site. It's obviously right on the edge of the map. So you have the windows directly in. Those are usually quite heavily guarded. And because you don't have much room surrounding the other sides of the site, because it's on the corner, you have to have quite an aggressive force at the end.
It's always a big bait when you have bomb sites where there's just one window onto the objective. In particular, that lab bomb site. I think the reason why it's so lowly picked is because, well, you think, okay, the attackers can basically just jump in that window and plant the diffuser, right? There's so many ways that they can very quickly get in. There's the bathroom window as well, which cuts off some really key rotations in the bomb site. And that's why we see defenses of that bomb site very commonly extend and take extra map control, or they're really loose and they just try to play to take engagements in favorable situations. We did see that extension of map control from Giants. They extended out into blue, which barrels, blue, whatever you want to call it, with that mirror window facing into Throne, and often you will have people playing in Throne as well. Giants just ended up playing really loosely. Didn't matter because, as we said, just 1v1 of 1v1, etc, etc. Apparently, Old Mate Healthcare has the blue screen of death on his PC right now, which is
not good. What's
grim.
Funny about that? Well, I don't want to use the word funny too heavily. Speakeasy tweeted just before this game that he also had the blue screen of death. He tweeted a picture of it, and I was thinking, contagious. Oh man! So now it's going across the teams.
This is why computers have got to wear masks.
Don't update your PC. I don't know if it's because of an update, but just never update your PC. It just doesn't do anything good for it, ever.
I did update my PC. You remember, Gio, yesterday I updated my PC and it screwed with all of my sound settings. Coming into the broadcast production is like, that. We can't hear you. I'm like, all my sound settings are messed up.
The worst thing, if you have to use a microphone and a webcam frequently, updating your PC is honestly the worst thing you can possibly do. Yeah. So we're going to have to wait for this blue screen of death to resolve itself. And one of the really frustrating things for us now is that in trying to figure out what the potential is for this game going forward, we haven't seen those sites that you would typically see from a lot of teams, at least on the first round, that gives you a solid idea of how Theme Park is going to be played, especially as it's played so infrequently in this region. Oh, we're back!
We're in? What?
That was really quick.
Production,
that one
you are
quickly.
gods.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, what I was going to say is...
Oh, we're going to have to fill for half an hour, Gio.
Yeah, that would be a record. I was going to say that because we haven't seen what is a more frequent bomb site, it's really hard to judge how the rest of the map or the rest of the game could go because we have such little evidence for these teams on this map anyway.
Yeah, I'll reinforce that. 0 plays
Just like
from
a wall.
QConfirm. Yeah. 0 plays from QConfirm, and I look through the Thai Operations League. Admittedly, I haven't checked that since the 11th of September. Maybe they've played it in the last month.
Hey, it's my birthday.
I don't think so. Happy birthday for a month ago, Gio.
Thanks.
So they didn't play it in the Thai Operation League. They didn't play it in APAC North Stage 1 or 2. They didn't play it in the second half of Pro League Season 11. Admittedly, I don't think it was actually in at that point. If I recall correctly, Theme Park was added after Season 11 of Pro League. So, yeah, QConfirm have never played this map in an official, to my knowledge. But they also don't ban it all that much. So it's a funny situation where, in general, teams like to ban Theme Park. If QConfirm just keep letting it through the ban phase, their opponents are typically going to ban it out. And Giants, I think, are a team that you would expect to ban it out because it is their most banned map. If you look at their bans over the last couple Playdays, they have banned it a couple times. They actually didn't ban it against Cyclops, but of course Cyclops banned it, so they didn't end up playing it. But as a result of this, you know, Giants ban this map all the time. QConfirm don't ban this map. It means that Giants are coming into this with all the power. They're doing the unexpected thing and letting it through. QConfirm probably did not prep for Theme Park, and it's definitely something I'd like to ask whoever wins this game after the match in the interview, why we went to Theme Park.
I think that's a really interesting insight is the reason they don't ban it much because they rely on the fact that their opponents are going to do it. And this is where QConfirm are going to have the question answered for them. Is it worth allowing that risk to go through? Obviously, that first round didn't go in their favor, but there's a lot of things that we could put that down to. But this is a very one-dimensional approach to this kind of attack. Going to bunk and daycare, no one is on the west side of the map. Instead, everyone looking to come in through the top east.
It's getting quite loose here for Giants, but that's a good job from the drone spotting out that black eye. And Hajime pre-fire in the corner and try and take it out eventually, but the rest of the team is trying to flush out Jordan and Ysera, who were hanging out around office and waiting room. I believe Ysera actually had a Vulcan shield. I like this. Speakeasy out. I think that was a pre-placed C4. Does not catch out Hajime though. The Ash very cautious there. Sorry, what was that, Medics? It was pre-placed? It was not pre-placed, says our Lord and Savior Medics. It was a thrown out one.
Medics should just cast this game
just
at
like
this
my
point.
hopes of making a casting career.
Well, there's one of the Vulcan shields gone, and Jordan's going to be falling down with it as well. Roldini moving straight in. That means that last Vulcan shield isn't really going to need to be touched as there's no one now behind it. Healthcare falls as well, so once again, QConfirm find themselves in a similar situation, playing the round without him, but they do have the man advantage in this instance, and they'll be able to bring out the E1D. That was a great shot from Speakeasy, ready and waiting with the shotgun, and now Lycolis once again is looking to get aggressive.
Lycolis, Fragmite, as we used to refer to him, well now he's got the ace. Even more fragging potential. Hysterics gifts him a kill. Picks up the injured player for the double. All on the captain now. A Singaporean Monty Main himself, but Lycolis shuts him down. And QConfirm win a surprisingly convincing round.
Hysterics, I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to run around, take him by surprise, secure the kill for himself, but obviously, from Lycolis' perspective, it really just looked like he was like, here you go, take me. And he did. he took it.
That he did.
And the round.
That he did. Yeah, I will say Roldini was particularly impactful on the entry there. It was a game of clearing out from the cache side of the map across, and that is so typical here. It's very difficult to do an arcade side push where you just push cafe. You might see that it maybe in casual or in ranked, a lot of players will just push from the easiest point of ingress, right? But it's actually not very easy. You're walking up funnels, trying to walk up the arcade stairs, yellow stairs, or trying to go up through cafe. Basically never works, and that's why we see players on the attack push from the east side of the map, the cache and control side, across. And as a result of that, defenders like to extend, and we saw 3 players from Giants extending. Jordan was playing in waiting room. We saw Ysera with a Vulcan shield, I do believe, in Vault facing into Office, and of course Speakeasy, who was the only player that round, I believe, to find a kill for his team in Initiation. And at the end of it, well, QConfirm were just so good at flushing out those roamers, those players who were extending the map control for Giants, particularly Roldino, who found the first 2. That, yeah, Giants, they were well and truly dismantled.
Could end up being problematic in the future if it continues, but coming down to Armory and Throne, it's definitely one of those defensive sites where you expect there to be a number of players off-site.
Mm-hmm.
You typically have 1, maybe 2 anchors left on the site, everyone else gone.
Yeah. This bomb site is a chestnut, and it's very difficult to crack. But the thing that does make this site a little bit more vulnerable is the vertical potential. Now, for those who don't know, only the north side of the objective is actually breachable above. So look at where Speakeasy is standing right now. Thank you, medics. You see that wooden floor there? That is breachable, so you can get lines of sight down onto the A bomb site. But the floor above the B side of the bomb site, above Throne, in Initiation, this part here is not destructible, and that means playing around the Throne is very, very safe. But one of the things that we typically see from attackers is they try and take map control and engage that vertical play above the A bomb site. They'll try and flush out players from there and usually couple that with a breach on one of the 3 walls of the bomb site and then try and execute from there. And that's why we see these roamers here. They're to stop that map control, to make it so QConfirm can't use that vertical play.
So Speakeasy is obviously going to be one of those really key players that they'll have to get rid of, as he was placed in Initiation before. But Lycola is straight away getting going on the hatch. He'll jump immediately down into Split and finds no one just yet. A straight kill onto Luna, and he's just going to go straight in. Now suddenly Giants are in a situation where they have to rush back to the site or set up for a post plant. It looks like nobody wants to be making the risk of running into the death trap, so they're just going to wait it out. Now, suddenly, the diffuser has been planted, and QConfirm can set themselves up. Giants have to move into the site if they want to deal with this problem, and they know that they're going to have so many barrels of so many guns facing them. Ysera just opening up the door into the site, and this is where he's going to get sprayed in if he's not careful. No! The impact fails, but Healthcare gets 2. Lycola is adding on. It was a good C4 from Hysterics, but he's going to have to win this 1v1 if he wants to get it. Producer Boom, he's ready and waiting, and time is running out. He could just move straight in and get this. There we go. The time, it's slowly ticking. He's got to come and get the kill. And that's what happens. QConfirm take the next round with a very, very aggressive attack.
I was saying this bomb site, Throne and Armory, is a tough nut to crack, but Giants decided to roam, and QConfirm said, all right, let's just hot drop the split hatch. No one was expecting the Spanish Inquisition of QConfirm to dead-ass drop through that hatch, find 1 kill on the site, and then just plant in a safe corner. Suddenly, Giants have to be the nutcrackers, and they're trying to do a 4 versus 4 retake. A clever play there from Lycolas and the rest of QConfirm to cover. A lovely innovation there, and personally, a strategy I have never seen on that bomb site.
It was very cool, but it's one that might not work a second time in a row.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a hurdle that QConfirm will have to jump later on, as now they've got to deal with the problem of, oh no, we have to attack onto this site that we miserably failed at in the first round.
But they have 5 players, at least for now. So that's definitely something that they can take as a bit of a comfort going into this round. Look, guys, yeah, we got absolutely dumpstered last time we attacked lab storage, but let's be honest, we really lost that thanks to losing well, firstly, they lost healthcare. Secondly, they didn't really know what to do on their attack. And I think that now they've had a bit of confidence here. They just won 2 back-to-back attacks on arguably the 2 strongest bomb sites on this map. And they could take that confidence here onto lab storage.
It's always good to be confident. Definitely helps. Out goes the black eye. That'll help Luna get some information. Now, obviously, it could just get caught straight out because there's drones around there. But remember, the IQ isn't in place. So if it does go missed, extra information from Giants. Now, one of the big problems that QConfirm did face, despite the loss of healthcare last time, was the fact that they weren't particularly decisive in how they wanted to go about the top floor. We knew that there was a roam from Giants. I believe it was...
There's actually quite a few players roaming.
Well, I remember it was the Malusi
like
and the Valkyrie, but I don't think it was the same players. Maybe it was the same
No,
players, but they've all... it's because their names have all swapped around this time. You know how it be.
Yeah. I will say though, I'm interested to kind of just get an overview of what Giants are doing on this defense, because I think for a lot of viewers, they wouldn't be so familiar with how to defend this lab storage. It's not as simple as you stick all your players on site. We see a very loose roam here. Hysterics upstairs, just above the split hash that was a point of contention last round. QConfirm clearing this from the east side. I expect Hysterics to try and just shoot some drones and then keep on peeling back. Not really trying to commit here. He might try and take a few gunfights. Quite an aggressive and confident player in his fights, so he might keep doing that. But yeah, he's going to start peeling back. Hajime spots him out. Now a rotation at top yellow. But for the most part, I think Giants is 2 roamers up here and then strong control of thrown downstairs. Actually 3 players top arcade. The scan comes through and, well, Hysterics backs off, but still 2 players at top arcade.
It's fairly normal for about this time in a round for the roamers to retreat back to site. But as you mentioned, there are still those defensive players who are upstairs, although actually it looks like they've moved back now. And Hysterics, rather than going all the way back to site, he's in this lower arcade area, maybe waiting to catch someone out if they expect him to have moved all the way back. It gives QConfirm some more room to begin opening up the floor that is above the site and peek down in.
That's the way to flush out these anchors, which is now basically most of Giants. I think they still have throne control. We saw Ysera there early round, likely rotations into barrels as well. So while QConfirm, oh look at that, that hatch reinforced as well. It's going to be so difficult to take barrels now. E1D goes out and Hysterics gets absolutely drop-shotted. And now the execute comes forth.
QConfirm the kings of the hatches, but are they going to be the kings of the round? Jordan says no, as the diffuser goes straight down and Luna's going to be adding onto it as well. Healthcare getting ready, but he couldn't make the engagement work from himself, and it's all down to Producer Boom. Has to get rid of the wub. He gets a nice kill onto Luna, but Jordan, a man who was taken out so easily and so early around, he comes back for the redemption and ensures that the site stays defended.
Now, Gio, you mentioned early on that Giants, while they haven't played this map a lot of times, they have played that lab storage bomb site once, and they were undefeated. 100% win rate, 1 out of 1. Well, they have now tripled the amount of source material for that stat, so it's amazing. 3 out of 3, still 100% though. Bodes pretty well for them, and I will say I think it's a good attack. Moreover, I think QConfirm looked pretty unfamiliar with how to attack that bomb site. Giants obviously had a good defensive setup. They played upstairs, roaming on the west side, at top arcade, around bunks, daycare, and they just kept on peeling off. It actually took QConfirm 2 whole minutes to get top floor control, at which point they were trying to use vertical play onto the bomb site and take out some of those players. They didn't have a lot of vertical play potential though, because you can see right now, actually, there's no breaching charges on any of these operators. All you've got is the 2 explosives on each Zofia and Ash. Plus, I mean, you could try and use the hard breach charge on the floor, but it's not a far cry from having like a Sledge or a Bark or lots of breaching charges. And QConfirm, while they were trying to do that, crack it onto the bomb site, they didn't have control of the horizontal parts of the first floor. So Giants were still able to roam around Throne, retake site from that direction, always shoot QConfirm in the back as they were trying to execute, and that's exactly what happened. Giants had so many players on the bomb site and so many players still roaming on the ground floor. that it was just too difficult for QConfirm to fight in a 5v5 execute with 20 seconds left.
It's all well and good if you can just drop straight down onto arguably the key player from Giants and take him out, but if you've got an entire side of the map that's been left untouched, that is free for the defenders to roam, they can still come and, as you say, shoot you in the back. QConfirm, and that's one of the big things with Theme Park as well, is it's a deceptively big map. So it does take a long time to be able to deal with those things, and Roldini is not going to be a part of that equation as Hysterics takes him out straight away.
But he's stood still next to that E1D. Hajime sends his drone forth and gets taken out. You see how aggressive Hysterics is playing. You mentioned him can be the man of the hour in some moments. Last time these teams played each other, Hysterics died twice over the full map. He had 100% KOST. He's not quite found his feet to that degree this game, but he's certainly trying his best. And QConfirm once again have slowed down here. Notably, they've also lost their Thatcher, which means it's going to be very difficult to clear out the multitude of wall denial on the table for Giants in the bandit batteries and those mute jammers.
It's a good shot through the door onto Ysera, and that evens things out somewhat. The E1D gets prepared, but Hysterics is ready with a C4, and it does catch Healthcare, who goes absolutely flying, but Hajime was ready to punish Hysterics for that one. So now on to a 3 versus 2, and you mentioned how QConfirm would necessarily struggle to open up some of these walls. They didn't have to before, and once again, they're going to go straight in for the hatch. Most likely just vying on the fact that they do have the man advantage, and even if Giants expect them to recreate what they did last time, they should still be able to win that out. They know that Luna is in the site. Speakeasy was away somewhere. Actually, he's right behind the throne. So they're waiting, and they're ready.
The last Selma deployed onto the yellow wall. I'm not sure what util was used to clear off the mute jammers or bandit batteries, but Luna's still got a safe position. And time's ticking away for QConfirm, but they do have good info. You can see the final drone goes out and it's taken down, but Luna's going to peek aggressively on it. He relocates. Now they don't know where he is. They're going to have to check all the corners. They ping it out. I think they heard him. Hajime has to drop the split hatch here and produce it to support.
Fewer than 20 seconds remain. They're using the E1D to support themselves, as you mentioned, but Speakeasy was ready to just ping down split, and there's the kills they needed to clean it up. QConfirm couldn't recreate the success of last time, and Giants continue control of Throne.
A pivotal 1v2 at the end there for Luna Metal as well. Just hiding in that corner. They knew exactly where he was. A great coverage from Speakeasy, who took out that player who dropped down the hatch. That, for sure, saved Luna's life. Of course, after Speakeasy was traded, though, things still looked pretty grim for Luna. He had 2 players coming from 2 different directions. And, well, fortunately, he managed to take down both of them. A critical play. Also really great was Hysterics' roam game. They managed to find 2 kills, but overall I would say that Giants actually lost the roam because QConfirm managed to clear out Hysterics and the other roamers. In fact, they managed to pick up Jordan and Ysera meanwhile, and that was only just half the round gone. A 121 was on the clock, and QConfirm were in a 3v2 still with drones to drone our site and the util to execute. So overall, a really good mid-game from QConfirm despite losing those players. I'd say that they won the early to mid-game, but Giants just won that clutch in the 2v3.
Giants are returning to Bunk, which is... It's interesting because it means that not once on this half will we be seeing an initiation off his hold, or an initiation off his defense. Instead, coming back to this side of the map, and we mentioned before how QConfirm were actually very effective in being able to clear out the members of Giants who were off-site and having the extended hold all the way from this east side of the map.
Yeah, that was the super pivotal thing last time QConfirm attacked this. It was the first attack they managed to pull off right after that rehost, and a lot of it came down to Roldini finding that 2K from the cache side. pushing on through, took out the 2 key roamers, Jordan and I believe it was Ysera. Yeah, it was Ysera. Following that, it was just on Lycolis to push up from top yellow rather. Managed to come in through Vault and find the remaining players. The only one from Giants to really stand out on that defense was Speakeasy, who found 1 kill before dying in initiation. Oh, interesting. They're using the exact same Valkyrie camera. QConfirm spotted that last time, but it's actually quite a hard Valkyrie camera to shoot. So I like that decision there from Luna. Really smart there. Gives good info on control.
Yeah, last time that they were dealing with it, we actually saw him take some quick peeks into initiation just to ensure that there was no one ready for him to go for the Valkyrie camera and get caught out in the process. So, as you say, a difficult one to get rid of, but a necessary one regardless.
So what's the progress here for QConfirm? Where are these roamers? Are they still allowed to hold on? And one thing I wonder is, will these Giants players hold on for dear life, or will they retreat? That mute jammer taken care of, disabled, thanks to that EMP, and Giants indeed do retreat. It's very similar to what we saw when they were defending the bomb site directly underneath this bomb site, which was they contest, they shoot some drones, they back off. I think that's the perfect decision. The E1D enables QConfirm to eventually move in, take control. That's office, initiation, and waiting squarely in the Ty's favor. Lycolis, likely one of his next steps would be to pressure from top yellow, but Giants, well, they've got their full man count alive.
It's going to be difficult. You have the Malusi Wub at top yellow, which will make it difficult to move in through there. Speakeasy obviously also facing out towards where Hajime is, which is in initiation. It's going to make it hard to take it from that two-pronged approach that a lot of attackers like to do onto this site. Another E1D, but it's not going to help because Speakeasy gets that first kill, not the way that you wanted it to go. Producer Boom's just going to play very patiently here as Roldini tries to take in one of those shots, but Healthcare gets punished by a C4. This is brutal as Giants continue to clean up. Lycolis, he went down and he got finished up, and now it's all on Producer Boom, but he can't hold on to it. Giants, they take another round.
Oh, what a shame we don't get to see that final kill from Luna because he traded directly with Producer Boom. They shot each other at the same time. Luna Metal did some good work on the anchor. In fact, that's back-to-back rounds that Luna Metal has been so pivotal in that late round in an anchor position. I think part of that round that really lended Giants the advantage in the execute, which eventually came out with only 16 seconds left on the clock, was the fact that Giants were really, really good at just pulling back. So yes, they contested initiation, office, waiting, just as they had the previous time they defended that. But once QConfirm started to chuck down those EMPs to remove the mute jammers so they could drone on fourth, the Giants were like, look, guys, we'll just have this ground. We'll let them have it. Like, let's move back. They can take it. It's fine. Let's just play for our 5v5 on site and the late execute. Worked really well. Luna Metal himself actually found 3 kills, one with the MPX, switches to the Deagle and finds 2 more. Just lovely stuff, especially from Luna Metal, who is a player, you know, one of the older players in the Rainbow 16. I'm sure that the rest of his team regards him as a bit of a boomer, and he's kind of like their dad. Honestly, he's like a babysitter for Giants. Is what I've always put him, especially when they didn't have a coach. Luna Metal was like the Giants' babysitter, and it shows, you know, he can still shoot people.
How is he as old as Renewals?
No, I don't think. I mean, I don't think he's one of the oldest players, but
or is it one of those things where it's like, yeah, he's 23, he's really old?
No, I mean he's definitely older than that, but he's definitely much older than the rest of the team. I think a lot of the rest of the team, you know, they kind of got picked up when they were like 18-ish. Ysera not so much, but I think the others were much younger players.
Well, there you go. There's your Giants history lesson. You mentioned
I could go for hours, honestly.
Yeah, I bet you could. You mentioned how, you know, back before they had a coach, they've obviously been coached by Gig, formerly of Na'Vi, for quite a long time now. Mm-hmm. Most of the year.
Producer Boom finds that opening kill. Very early one. Only 30 seconds in. Good pick for taking down Thatcher. An aggressive one too. But notice that QConfirm have lost a lot of HP overall. So while that might look like a good trade, is like, oh, it's getting reset? Yeah, I think that was the idea. A bit of a strange decision. used to be resetting was really common because you got back up to 50 HP, but I think Lycola's maybe got like 10 HP out of that. I don't know if it's worth it, but oh well, you decide.
Well, I guess they think it's worth it or they wouldn't have done it. I don't know, that's one for the interview, I guess. Really, you know, fascinating point. That was a great shot. Holding onto the long angle towards the arcade stairs to prevent the defenders from returning. Moving around on any kind of roam. Hysterics can't get in through the window. Nice.
Oh no.
Good one.
There you go.
You finally made it into kitchen or break room.
Oh man, that's one for the books. I like that one.
That's one that you wish weren't observed.
Yeah. Oh well. That's a nice one there from Hysterics. Good map control here, Giants. But of course, the eventual execute's going to have to come down to the throne. The time that we saw QConfirm win this, it was that hot drop through the split hatch. I doubt we'll see something similar for Giants. At the moment, they've taken most of map control, but still 2 roamers chilling out in lab. Quite a difficult position to flush out as an attacking squad, but also very influential positions for defenders. No doubt they'll try and flank in the late round.
And also with Producer Boom being where he is, it's incredibly patient. He's trying to use the smoke to try and conceal the position, but once again, the patience is a virtue and it pays off for Producer Boom, who brings down Luna and sends QConfirm into that advantageous position. There's the nade, but it doesn't sound like it gets anybody. And now we're nearing the final 20 seconds. That's desperately unfortunate there to be caught out. Healthcare just holding on to the positions as Giants begin to jump in towards the site, but it's all a bit of a grapple. Roldini finishing things off at the end, secures QConfirm the defensive round.
A good one at the end of it there for QC. I was thinking that Giants actually had quite a nice way of dealing with that because it was a 4 versus 4 in the late round by the time they wanted to execute, and 2 of them were roaming in lab, as I had noted. I thought that Giants were going to try to juggle like those 2 roamers, just have someone kind of watch the flanks as they executed because, of course, simple maths, right? It's a 4 versus 4, but half the QConfirm players are off-site. If Giants push site, then it's a 4v2 as long as they don't expose themselves to those roamers. I thought that was the strategy. But no, it wasn't the case. And indeed, they managed to not contest the roamers and not contest the anchors at the same time. I don't know whether that was a shot calling thing where whoever was making the call, probably Luna Metal, from Giants, maybe hadn't been clear on whether we're going to address roamers or anchors. But something went wrong there and QConfirm capitalized. A particularly good shot there from, I believe it was Producer Boom, who was playing in storage. And that kicked things off, and the execute just fell to pieces.
Well, now we're seeing Initiation Office for the first time in this game. And kind of interestingly, because Producer Boom has decided to bring along Oryx, which I think it's fair to say is not necessarily the most orthodox choice for, I guess, any site in the entire game.
There are a couple we've seen it. Typically, you pick the Oryx for not so much his dash itself and the various things you can do with that, but the ability to jump up hatches. That's the really unique feature that Oryx brings to the table, because typically an attacking squad can watch, however many staircases there are, and they know that players haven't rotated. But Producer Boom, he can actually be a threat in jumping up these hatches late round. For example, the one in Cash just near Lycolis. There's also one in Barrels that goes up to Dorms. So maybe that's the threat late round, and Giants just going to have to keep an eye out. At the moment, it's Lycolis getting aggressive on this Cash balcony side. Expended 2 Valkyrie cameras to try and make something happen, but as of yet found nothing for it.
It's really not uncommon to see the Valkyrie always doing that. And actually, he's going to get droned while sitting on a drone himself. So I don't know if he knows that he was seen. He is retreating, so he must have some idea, and he doesn't want to take the risk and hang around too much. And he just returns straight to site where it's a bit safer to do so.
Now, despite Giants avoiding that early aggression and Lycola's essentially wasting 2 black eye cameras, there you go, second one spotted out. I will say there's been decent time management here for QConfirm, rather, not for Giants. It's they've wasted a decent amount of time, and Giants haven't found a lot for it. Expect that first kill there. Hysterics, I don't know whether they've, well, I can't say that they've watched VODs because there's no VODs of QConfirm on this map to watch, but that was just such a good read on the rotation there. And Lycola's completely caught up.
I don't know, QConfirm have shown that they really like to use hatches so far, so it's a good read, and those were a good 2 kills from Speakeasy. Suddenly, the threat of the defense doesn't look so intimidating, as now all that remains are these 2 roamers.
No.
Producer Boom going for what he can, but it doesn't work out. Dev's crying in the background, and Healthcare desperately tries to pull it back in his favor. He can't quite make it work. Giants, the first attacking. Are you okay?
I'm okay. Oh man, Producer Boom. It's okay. We weren't watching that. Thousands of people weren't spectating that play. Don't worry. Yeah, don't stress that. No one saw that, mate. Well, that's what you get for trying to kill the man himself. Hysterics cannot be stopped, and he's embarrassed that he hasn't. Well, actually, I'm not sure what the fragging is like. Yeah, he's embarrassed that for a split second there, Luna Metal had more kills than him. He's like, well, okay, Boomer, step up. 8 frags. Hysterics and Speakeasy, top of the scoreboard as usual.
Oh my goodness. As usual?
Free country, I do what I want.
Are you serious? Okay. Alright. Whatever you say.
I say sitting here in lockdown.
It's funny because are you the youngest of the talent team, or is Hap?
I'm pretty sure I'm the youngest, yes.
Right, and so you're the one who's sounding most like a boomer who's trying to sound like a kid.
Yep, that's me. Spot on. Gio, once again, your analysis is impeccable.
I am so astute.
I bet.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how QConfirm are feeling right now after a spat of really difficult defenses. I mean, we come into this saying the reason why you don't see much theme park in any region is because it's really defensive favored, and particularly this is exactly what Alems from BDS said in his interview, I believe it was earlier this week or last week. The reason we don't play theme park is because it's a best of 1 and we don't want to play any maps that are significantly advantaged to one side, in this case the defense. And here you are, QConfirm, haven't found a single one. Actually they have, wait, they won throne, right? I don't know. Yes, they won throne, but they lost that one, and yeah.
It was a really meaningful point, and you said it with such conviction that I just didn't want to
box on my spreadsheet.
I didn't want to let you down.
So, user error. It's not the spreadsheet's fault. Bless the spreadsheet.
Well, because they were unable to get the last round, they've decided to come back to the same site as before. Giants obviously have some presence downstairs, and one of the big problems that QConfirm faced in the early to mid round was the fact that when they tried to make rotations using the hatches, they got caught out jumping down in towards split when Giants had that presence there. So I suspect that's something they're going to be a lot more cautious about, and obviously that's reflected in their choice of operators, who are far less jumpy and run-aroundy as Oryx.
Yeah, they've changed a couple things. The Valkyries switched over to Producer Boom, who was last on the Oryx. Lycolis takes up the Legion. I wonder if that's to try and combat Hysterics, who's basically been solo pushing downstairs this whole time. He's actually trying to use some vertical play. That's unusual. I think the idea there was the explosion to come through, destroy any static batteries, and then the concussion to prevent a bandit trick. But of course, it's the impacts from Lycolis that are, in this case, tricking. The bandit was abandoned in favor of the Maestro from Roldini, but that gives a lot of impacts over to QConfirm. Still 1 left out of the 6 that they had in total. And I believe that's polished off all of the hard breach that Giants have brought to the table. Say goodbye to any idea of breaching that cash wall.
Luna is being exsanguinated. And that's not good because the diffuser is down, but that's not good because Roldini is down, and suddenly you've lost your Maestro. Giants are still on the way of clearing out all these pesky defenders that still litter themselves around the site, but that's a good start for the attacking side.
Pivotal thing is that they can't walk in the office breach, at least not to my knowledge. Actually, maybe that's vaultable, I can't quite tell. You see Giants starting to close in their hands around QConfirm. Healthcare's trying to make a play, but he is shut down. 2 players left. It looks like Giants might have this. A great refrag out. 2 players to overwhelm Lycolis on the bomb site. And Giants are watching their flanks just as well. Producer Boom goes down, and, well, yet another convincing attack for the Giants.
Yeah, Giants heard that whole thing where it's like, yeah, it's super defender sided, and they were like, whomst? Theme park, whomst? Because they're on match point.
Well, I feel like the point that I was trying to make last pick phase is even more relevant now, which is that QConfirm are really struggling on their defense, as you alluded to. The fact that they've only won 1 out of 3 thus far, which, funnily enough, is the same record that we saw from Giants when they started their defense. They won the first, they lost 2 in a row, but then they rounded off the half with 3 more. Now, that's the only prospect that QConfirm has of taking us to overtime. Remember, we do have overtime here in APAC, so QConfirm can win this game. But they will need to do exactly what Giants did on their own defensive half and make a full rotation of 3 successful bomb sites. And thus far, has proven to be very difficult for them. A funny decision, though, from QConfirm is that despite Throne and Armory, the only bomb site they've won, now being unlocked, they're actually changing their minds and instead going to bunks, which they have neither tried yet thus far on their defense.
I wonder if part of that is because they feel that Giants are comfortable in being able to make adaptations to change and alter their strategy dependent upon what QConfirm did previously to make them win, and maybe if they come to a new bomb site, it's going to force Giants to try something new. They don't have that option to adapt, and so it's still shrouded in mystery to a certain extent.
Yeah, I definitely think that's part of it here for QConfirm. They have a lot of respect for the Giants, as you should, as everyone should. These guys were the far and away, well, winners first place in Stage 1, though admittedly Cloud9 did overtake them in the major. But QConfirm, they're well aware that Giants are going to be able to improve on their attack. That they managed to get down to a 2v2. Oh, sorry, it was a 4v4, rather, on their previous attack onto Thurin. And everything looked almost good, but QConfirm snuck away with it. So I think it's a good decision to change it up, but just because they're going to this other bomb site doesn't mean that Giants is going to be any less successful. At the moment, this attack is looking very similar to what we saw when the bomb site was initiation, which is that the majority of the Giants players push from this cache side, and as you can see from QConfirm, any attempt at a roam here on the top floor has been dismissed, and they've all gone back to the bomb site. Hajime going so far as to reinforce over that rotate hole.
Yeah, actually, what I find really interesting about this is we noted that when QConfirm were on the attack, all 5 of their players came in from the east side. But while Giants haven't necessarily got any sort of west side push, they do have Hysterix, who's present downstairs. He was holding the long angle onto the arcade stairs, potentially worried that that QConfirm are going to send down a late roam, like they have done in a couple of their previous rounds, and they just want to be ensured that that attempt is stunted should it come out. Ysira, he's actually coming in through the west side as well here, at least ensuring that it's cleared out. So Giants are taking the time. Be careful about that, but Producer Boom playing very upfront and close and aggressive, ready to catch anyone out. But if he does tempt fate on these stairs too much, he could find himself get caught out by Hysterix should he still be present downstairs, which he is. I believe Dev is having internet issues, and Healthcare gets the first kill onto Jordan. So not a good start for Giants on their maiden voyage, their swan song, I should say, as we are on to match point situation. And Hysterix he's here on the yellow stairs. He's getting pressured, but Roldini doesn't quite secure the kill onto him, and he's forced to run away. That means that there is that distraction for Giants, which QConfirm could absolutely take advantage of, and that's what they do. 2 kills coming in from their side. Roldini, he goes in for another, but it's Healthcare who secures it. Now just Speakeasy is on his own. 10 seconds remaining, and he doesn't even have the diffuser. QConfirm get a flawless round to keep themselves in the game. And I have to say, Dev's died. He's completely disappeared. might end up with a Jess if Dev remains 2 dead. But oh hey, are you coming back? You guys might not be able to hear Jess. Might not be able to hear Jess. She says hello. Hello? She says hello. Hello? We might be just trying to sort out getting Dev back. Hello, Dev. No, Dev is still gone.
Hello.
Wait, we might have heard him. I'm so sorry about this, audience, by the way. We're just trying to ensure that we can actually speak to Dev Mana. Hello? Hello, Dev.
Hi, Gia. How's it going?
It's going good. How's it going, Dev?
Oh, I'm going lovely.
I have to say, that confused the hell out of me.
I mean, I was
It's good to hear you.
raving like a madman over text saying, guys, it's not working. So, well, there you go. Well, Giants, they may have been on match point, but it wasn't all said and done for QConfirm. Nice of them to at least find one round, eh?
Definitely. I think that QConfirm, they could obviously see their chances slipping away. And it evidently turned out to be a good idea for them to go to that offsite.
Yeah, I totally agree, especially because it was such a convincing win, flawless. What I find weird is QConfirm, they're still not going back to Throne. Like, they are so confident here that they'd rather go to Office Initiation for the 3rd time after losing it twice than retry Throne and Armory, which they won on their first go. That is puzzling, and it makes me wonder, there's one or two things here. Either QConfirm are so confident in their Office Initiation hold and they think they know what went wrong, they're just going to try and fix that, or they're so unconfident in their Throne and Armory hold, they have so much respect for Giants and their attack onto that they just don't want to try it again.
I think they're scared. I think they're scared of it.
Yeah.
Because this is the 3rd time now that they've been to Initiation, and Giants have won it both times. So there's something about this site that makes QConfirm feel confident that they can get it right this one time. They don't have another chance to do this.
No, it's slipping away from them. Big roam on the top floor towards the arcade side as well to try and maintain map control as long as possible. Ooh, Speakeasy's going to get nice on and aggressive. He misses the player on the first engagement, backs on out after he takes a bit of damage, but there is some form of breach here. Not enough, I think, for Giants to get through.
Once again, you've got Hysterics on flank watch, and that's something that's called QConfirm out a number of times. He did get forced back in that last round, and I think taking control of that player and holding him back was something that did help lead QConfirm to their win. But Speakeasy bleeding out. He's going to return to Jordan, who should be able to pick him back up, just making sure that there is no threat around. But we are in already the last minute of the round, and technically a 5 versus 5, Speakeasy does get picked up. It's going to be likely an explosive one as this continues on.
And these mirrors are just so good. Looking directly into the bomb site, the best way to counter something like this is to push from behind, and Giants have nothing there. Finally, 1 kill goes forth for Giants, but still this mirror window present.
Ash throws out the C4 despite the smoke, can't get anything, but Luna does fall to the ground as Roldini's just ready and waiting behind the wall. Hajime, he tries, but Hysterics is the one to secure the kills, and Roldini coming out as well. It's a 2 versus 2 with Luna bleeding out. QConfirm might be able to take this, which they absolutely do. Hajime just ready and waiting to take those kills, and once again, they keep QConfirm in the fight.
A close round at the end of it, but a nice one from QConfirm, especially as you mentioned, a very late 5 versus 5 Giants. They didn't really have a push from that arcade side of the map through Cafe to try and have some back push to counter those mirror windows. Instead, they relied on the smoke grenades, which didn't work, I think, fully as intended. Despite Giants finding the opening kill there, QConfirm managed to keep on holding on. They had their anchors it's a situation where you're ducking and weaving a little around those smokes, and well, they did manage to pull through. Good performances in this game, in particular from like Colas, which is that standout performer that we always see, despite often playing supportively on the attacking side. Gets in and rakes up a lot of frags for his side, but we're in round number 12. Big one here for Giants, because either they win this dead on here or we go to overtime.
And finally, QConfirm have decided to return to Throne. So this is where our questions should be answered as to whether or not it's a case of them being scared, being concerned that Giants will have the adaptability. The thing is, at this point, they've been back to initiation 3 times. They finally won the 3rd attempt that they did it. They've faced Giants adapting to things or trying different ways of coming to the same bomb site, because it's not the first time they've been to multiple bomb sites. So they should at least feel prepared for that. Now, obviously, it could turn out that isn't what they were worried about, and maybe that will come to fruition and become clear to us as the round continues. But the point is, this is the last opportunity that QConfirm have, and they've come back to the site that they just seem so worried about.
The key change here, I think, from Giants, a great adaptation. They would have expected that this is going to be the bomb site. It's got to be either this or Lab, because QC have just won the other 2, but a great adaptation here from Mysterix is bringing the Jackal. We talked about in the late round in that 4 versus 4, Giants had to deal with 2 players on site and 2 players roaming in Lab. Now, Giants seem to be trying to keep tabs on these players in Lab very early on. And I think that's the smart decision here. They're actually pushing over the top 4. Hajime roaming at top arcade. Well, it's a risk for Giants here. They're changing up a strategy that did work somewhat well for them in terms of the early map clear, in order to prioritize clearing something or accomplishing something that they couldn't last time, which is clearing out Lab, and the 2 players currently roaming there.
Yeah, Healthcare and Producer Boom are going to be feeling the breath down their necks as Giants continue to push in above them, and with the support of Hysterix, who can use the Inox to track the players from the defending side, it could make it a very clean push for Giants when it comes to the point for them to actually make those engagements.
No first blood as of yet. No engagements, really. You can see, oh, that was a close miss there. Jordan has a feeling there's someone up here, and Nate Uncooked goes forth, and he cleans him up with the L85. That's the first pick, and finally we're seeing things looking up for the Giants, but they haven't fully cleared this out, and that's the roam clearer gone. Like Colas finds one and gets back onto site. That's critical.
Having the Jackal down is huge, as he's such an integral part of the composition that Giants were running, and Hysterix alone as a player can be so pivotal to the team. Now QConfirm are solidly close to the site. Obviously not everyone, as we still have some of those roamers elsewhere, but the point is, whichever way Giants decide to go, they've got limited time to deal with both of these halves of the team. That's not good.
Yet another one from like Colas. And 30 seconds left. Giants are just scrambling to make things happen, but a breach may be exactly what Luna needs to have another avenue onto the bomb site. This is where the smoke comes through. He doesn't have the diffuser. That's in Ysera's hands. What is the play from here?
He's basically got to support them as Ysera goes in with Speakeasy right behind him, and he gets the first kill onto Roldini. There's limited time. He just has to go in for the plant, but QConfirm clean things up at the end. And this has gone on longer than I think it looked like it would before, because Giants just can't clinch out the win.
Wow, we are going all the way to overtime after 3 failed match point attempts from the Giants. QConfirm, against their longtime rivals, have certainly made this a competitive match. We talked about this coming into the map, that, well, this is not territory that either team is familiar with. The only one of these to actually play Theme Park ever is Giants, and they played it just the once. They took a not narrow win, but a not as convincing as it could have been win against Talon 7-4. and Playday won a stage 2. But this is their most banned map, the Giants. They were the ones who decided to take us here. They subverted the expectation of QConfirm. But maybe QConfirm were expecting it all along. If not, they have done a miracle work here. Off the cuff to come back from this deficit and win 3 straight defenses. Take us all the way to overtime. And guess what, Gio? They get defense first.
What really makes me laugh in this instance is right at the beginning, you and I speculated and we were wondering, is the reason QConfirm haven't been here because they don't like the map, or has it just been happenstance that their opponents have always banned out Theme Park because QConfirm haven't really banned it that much? And we thought, is this something they're going to be good at, or have they just been hedging their bets on the fact that no one wants to go there? No, it really looks like they were prepared. It looks like they knew what they were doing and they were always ready to come back to Theme Park should anyone allow them to. It just so happens that most teams get rid of it.
So this is where the final stand lies for these 2 Southeast Asian teams who have been at each other's throats season upon season in the Southeast Asian Pro League. There was a time when QConfirm actually edged themselves to be the #1 team in Southeast Asia before Xavier was a significant contender and when Giants were in their negative spell. But now Giants, they have been the kings of APAC, not without a few hurdles though. Cloud9 has proved to be troublesome, as has Xavier, but they were flawless in the first half of stage 1, and QConfirm's giving them a run for their money here. As we hit overtime, Giants, they've got to go back to that bomb site. They just failed to attack on Throne Armory. And it starts with the roam clear once again. Hysterics back on the Zafir, no Jackal this time.
The problem with the way the Giants are playing is by this point, QConfirm can read it. Hysterics did not just get shut down in that last round, but in rounds prior to that as well. There's more pressure on his shoulders now to perform because if he just gets read into and caught out once again, that's really disaster for Giants. And you've got to bear in mind that you have players like Healthcare on the Vigil who'll be able to do those roams and not necessarily get caught, but that's a great C4 to start things off from Producer Boom.
What a run out from Hajime, the absolute gall of this man. Punished, but only for a bit of HP, and Ysera takes as much damage as he deals back. This is a grim position to be in if you're a Giants fan. After such a significant lead, this might be the 4th attack in a row that they stumble.
Be disaster if it did. Something that looked like such a strong advantage just ripped away from them unexpectedly from a former rival from their home region. Goes the EMP and Speakeasy. Coming down the stairs as well.
Ysera. So good for QConfirm. Ysera does find one of those players, but it's a rough slog here, and so many of these players from QConfirm are really leaning into this run. We've seen all the operators change, Vigil, Legion, so much just to try and emphasize this roam, and Giants struggling to clear it out.
Oh, that's Hysterics, and Speakeasy gets one as well. That's a great couple of kills and suddenly puts QConfirm very weak. Hajime, who clutched out earlier on in the game, he's having another go as well, turning things around. He's desperately looking for one of these players who may have come in, but the smoke is concealing. Roldini's on the other side, but Hajime just collects the kill. He collects 3! And QConfirm now find themselves on overtime match point.
After 6-3 down, QConfirm have clawed themselves all the way back into this fight. What a way to do it as well. It looked like Giants had that win in the bag, but QConfirm, they were ready to receive 3 players into the meat grinder through that split door in the late execute. It was not what the doctor ordered, and the Giants are, for the first time in this match, facing a match point against them. They basically through that 3 versus 2. Yes, it wasn't the best position for them to be in, but you just got to forget about that. No more attack. It's all about this round right here. You need to defend Armory Throne Room. You need to get a hole in one.
They need to defend Armory Throne Room, but look back to the first half. They went to Throne twice, and who won each of those rounds?
It was 1-on-1.
Point is, it's a risk. I have it written down as 2 QConfirm wins.
Yeah, I think That was 1-on-1. I'm pretty sure that I did not get that wrong. I'm pretty sure you got that wrong. But, you know, anything's possible these days.
We'll fight about this later.
Stranger things have happened, eh? 50-50 win rate here on this bomb site for Giants. It was the second time that they won it. The second attempt. And having a look at the operator lineups from those, they actually remained identical both times. And identical again here, the exact same op lineup. I think it's going to come down somewhat to what the roam clear is like. Oh yeah, I remember. It was because QConfirm did that hot drop right through split. That was the round that they won. And then the round where they actually tried to do a proper attack, Giants won. So I will favor Giants here, but my question is, are you rattled? You just lost 4 attacks rather, in a row. And you've let this 6-3 lead slip to a 6-7. That's my concern.
I'll be totally honest with you. At first, I thought you were asking if I was rattled, and I was like, no, I'm fine. I'm doing good.
It's been a long day, dear.
It has been. It's a very valid point that mentality is so huge, especially at this point in a game where it's been going on for so long, and you just want it to reach the end. But if Giants are to win this, they have to take 2 more rounds. So they know that they're in it for the long haul at this point, and they could have ended it so much sooner. And remember, it's been a running commentary today that the bookhold system means that you have to, well, you don't have to, but it's very important for you to be able to get your first win. That's going to be huge in your standings. But they're just going to rush straight in again. Luna gets the first kill, and Lycola's carrying the diffuser is brutally dropped. That's a really big misplay from QConfirm, who are now going to be feeling the consequences of it. Roldini tries to throw in an EMP, but he gets caught out on the stairs as Speakeasy collects that one for himself. Producer Boom on his own, but it's a desperate situation for himself. The diffuser had been dropped in the doorway of the breach into the site, and that's where Giants are all going to be gathered, ready to catch him out should he move on forward. There's half the round remaining, and this happens so quickly. He starts off with the first kill onto Hysterics, but he's still got 3 more to go. Just getting rid of the default cams, so that means that Giants have much less information on his whereabouts. And also throwing in the nades, this time not bringing the hard breach as was discussed at the start. But he's still looking. He knows he has to pick up the diffuser, but he knows how many people are against him. Lucy Wub Wub is in his way. You're right, there is time. There's time, but there's a threat. He needs to know where everyone is, and he's in the disadvantage, just trying to peek around. There's someone behind the throne, but there's also in the other site.
40 seconds left. You might think impossible for Giants to lose a 3v1, but they've just gone down from 6-3 to 6-7. Producer Boom has a shot here, but not if Giants play it well, and that's exactly what they do. On the 9-degree crossfire, also just fake ripping the C4s constantly. The troll there from Luna. Eventually, Giants find their first round after this significant drought. But there's still work to be done, and that is the Giants to win an attack. They went 2-4 on their attacking half. And QConfirm, they're going to take a moment to discuss what bomb site they want to go to. They can't go back to Throne.
They've only been to this bomb site once.
But it was what initiated their comeback.
That's very true.
Ooh, we're actually seeing the first 6-pick from Luna. He's actually not played Thermite this entire map. I wonder what it is. Is it the stun grenades he wants? Because the smokes, in my opinion, have been somewhat ineffective in this game. A lot of those rounds where Giants have tried to use those smoke grenades for the execute, and it's ended up just being a line of sight that's denied, but QConfirm just spray through the smoke and basically nullifies the effect of that smoke. The main other change in operator we're seeing from Giants is that Capitao. Secondary hard breach as well to boot. That kind of compensates for the fact that Thermite overall has less breach potential than Ace. But on top of that, you've got the fire and the extra smoke. So, I don't know, it's a bit weird. Overall, you lost the Thatcher. I think that's the main thing that Giants are looking at here, but it shouldn't be a too big issue. Like, Colas does have mute. That might be a hindrance, especially if it's used to extend this roam out.
All right, deep breath. Both teams going for a slightly different approach. QConfirm coming back to the site that they've only visited once. Giants, as you say, changing things up in their roster composition. Because we're now on overtime match point. Whoever wins this next round is going to be the winner. And QConfirm were just so victorious on their defending half that Giants have had to make these changes just to allow themselves the confidence that they can do it.
So we take a deep breath. The final round of this 15-round behemoth that has been a grudge match between two Southeast Asian greats. QConfirm have looked abominable in Stage 2 thus far. 7-1 by Giants not long ago, and now they've managed a comeback. Can they close it out on their defense? It should be the favored side for them, but Giants, they are the team to beat in APAC North, and they've got everything behind them. Droning out from the east side, top floor, Speakeasy and Jordan. A minute down, and Giants overall don't have as much control as they would like. They're taking it slow and steady, which, well, is a double-edged sword. They might take control and make sure they're not forfeiting early picks, but it also might be the death of them in the late round. If QConfirm play passive in the early to mid, they might have the advantage in a 5v5 late execute.
Last time Giants came to attack onto this site, we did see them going for the two-pronged approach where they started off on the east side and then sent a couple of players over towards the west. We're seeing Roldini positioned over in Arcade, so he's already ready and prepared in case any of the attackers do that. But right now, Yasira is just getting prepared with his crossbow to send in through the hole that's been made in the wall. And that should help to flush out some of those defenders. And there we go, it's the first smoke. Luna's moving in as he takes the opportunity. He's got to use the exothermic onto the scaffolding wall. There's someone right below him that's healthcare on the yellow stairs.
50 seconds left, and QConfirm still have good control. A player in initiation, perhaps unfound. Luna Metal's got a great position, but he's so scared here. Needs to drone it out. Jordan's going to pinch from Cafe. That could mean everything, but healthcare shuts him down. QConfirm might be able to close it out here. 30 seconds remain. Giants better get a wriggle on because time is slipping away.
Oh, but there's the comeback as Luna brings healthcare down himself and regaining the man advantage, but Roldini has a response. As you say, time is desperately running out. Fewer than 20 seconds remain. Lycolis gets stunned out, but he's still holding onto the site as Giants just begin to swarm. There's the kill from Hysterics. Ysera follows up. He has two.
One left.
And Giants might be about to steal this one back. Hajime, the only one remaining, and he has to go against this plant that's being made. He gets the first kill, but can he get the next two? No! Giants, after having such a desperately difficult second half, they bring it back and take the overtime round.
In a 4 versus 5 executes, after being reverse swept all the way to OT, Giants, it took you a while, but you finally got that attack that you were chasing, and they are still undefeated in APAC North Stage 2. What a marathon.
It took them probably a lot more than they thought that they would need. And evidently the changes that they made to attack that last round were the answer. We wondered if it was going to be enough, and the answer was indeed yes. After a brutally long game. Whew.
I'm absolutely wrecked. I'm wrecked after that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, me too. So, Alice, let's have a listen to what it is you think, because this was a pretty wild one.
Definitely a wild one in